Hey guys, it's BoomTheBombOmb!
Abe Weiss.
And we are back with more Phoenix Wright. So, you mentioned something off screen, Abe. Why don't you tell me about this?
Throughout, the judge is making comments about the testimony. No judge would ever do this because that injects bias into the proceedings. If the case is a jury trial, for sure it could taint the jury. And if it's a bench trial, which means that the judge, that the defendant has waived his right to a jury trial, and the judge will decide on guilt or innocence, for a judge to make those comments during the course of the trial before all the evidence has been put on the record suggests that the judge would be prejudging, could be prejudicial to the case. So again, that's not something that you would ever find happening in a real trial.
Interesting. Okay. So Mr. Sawit now remembers something about why he was so certain that it was 1 p.m. that the murder occurred. Would you care to give your testimony again? Time of the discovery.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
Do you think this is correct?
I see. You heard a voice saying the time of the on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Right. You know what to do.
I've got this one.
So do you have any idea what's going to be a contradiction here? Because you also have to present it on the correct statement. I don't know if you noticed. So you can't just present evidence on any statement. It has to be on the correct statement as well.
Well, let's go back and review.
Yeah, so I see I found the body, I heard the time.
Well, the contradiction's obvious.
What?
There was a blackout in the building. If there was a blackout in the building, that means there was no power. If there was no power...
How is there the television turned on?
Exactly.
So, let's see, 3 hours off, wasn't it? Yes, the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. So, sometimes there are multiple statements you can present it on as well. So, like, because this mentions the TV here. This mentions the TV as well. So, it's either of those two statements. You can present it on either and it should work.
So, he could not have been the victim could not have been watching a video of a taped program, but more importantly, since at the time that he claimed to have been there was a blackout, I would go to the statement that says he heard a voice.
It could have been from a battery-operated thing if you just heard a voice.
When was the last time you encountered someone with a battery-operated television and video?
I never said that. I just said, oh, there was a voice at the time. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this statement here, which wouldn't have done us anything. That's why I thought you were talking about. Sorry. So this one here?
Yeah.
So, and the blackout record, so that should tell us.
Right. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Yeah. I will.
The defense has a point. You do have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit. Or do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit?
No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Wait. Wait! I remember now!
Mr. Sawit? The court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught.
My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock finding the body.
Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony. Once more, please.
Hearing the time.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Because clocks can be battery-operated, such as ours hanging right up there. So a power outage wouldn't.
Right, but we already know that he just contradicted him, fact again, because he referred to the clock as the murder weapon.
Right, and we know that the murder weapon is the thinker.
Exactly.
And just to tell you this right now, this stuff does get a little more difficult as it goes on. This being the first case and you're trying to pull in the player, they try to make things easy just so you can get a grasp on what you're trying to do before you start challenging your brain about everything else.
Okay.
Just to get the hang of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You may cross-examine the witness.
Gladly.
Hearing the time. Oh, the music's changed.
The music changed?
Yeah, this is different music for a cross-examination, meaning we're getting close.
Okay.
And I love the sound. This music's great. Anyway, so actually I didn't hear it, I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon.
There it is. That's the testimony that's going to contradict what we know, right there.
So let's present the thinker. Objection!
Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
Oh, here we go. This is like this music is very famous.
Oh yeah?
This music is insanely famous amongst the series. This is like I forget what it's called. It's called Cornered or something akin to that. It's like when you corner the witnesses or the ones who are lying.
The unraveling, the denouement.
Essentially, yeah. But it's had different iterations throughout the series, but this particular iteration is very famous. Okay. It's from the first game.
Wow, you with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Payne?
As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it, and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now?
Yes. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand.
And is that what you were thinking?
Yes, exactly.
Great. I love it when people are able to get ahead of the game too and try to figure it out on their own. It becomes really fun when that happens.
Yet, the witness testified that he never entered the apartment.
Ah, there you go. You were thinking back.
Yep.
Excellent job.
Clearly a contradiction.
Indeed.
The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment.
Or knew the victim, but whichever one. You thinking the apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face.
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock?
I never. Look, the clock. No, I heard. No, I mean I saw. Shut up. I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Give him death.
I told you the characters are zany, and that's one of the appeals of this game. Order in the court, I say.
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright.
Your Honor?
You claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence?
The whole case is right on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear. If you simply
sound the clock's batteries, ask the neighbors, or try sounding the clock.
Try sounding the clock.
Indeed.
Let's sound the clock now, here, in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully.
I think it's 8:25.
Oh, that's me. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Agreed, it definitely is.
Well, he is the thinker, after all.
So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now?
It's 11:25.
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about now? Well, it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder?
Very true. I mean, he has a point there.
If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it. I was so close.
Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim.
Yes, Your Honor.
This means I cannot let you indict the witness.
Indict.
Alright, sorry, thank you. It always looks like indict. It's indict?
Indict.
Okay. I always read it as indict. I don't know why. Okay.
Not anymore.
Hopefully not. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit.
I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal. You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. Sorry, Larry, I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Not so fast, Mr. Sawit.
Chief.
Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think.
But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that.
Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason why the clock would be 3 hours slow?
Well, there must be a reason, so we'll say yes.
Okay.
Wait! Maybe I can prove it.
You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it.
Well, Mr. Wright, say the clock was already running slow the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There's a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off.
Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow.
So if you remember, there's one piece of evidence we haven't used yet.
Yeah, aside from our badge. We've used the autopsy report, we've used the statue, and we've used the blackout record.
The passport. She was in Paris.
Right.
And then came back from Paris on the day of the murder. She hadn't reset her clock yet.
And that would mean that the clock...
Oh, the day before the murder. But still, she hadn't reset her clock yet. This is supposed to be in California.
Okay, so, but the clock was with her on the trip?
Yes.
Do we know that?
Well, again, we don't know, but we have to think why it would have to be 3 hours slow.
But if it was 3 hours slow...
Or fast, or whatever.
So the clock said 1 o'clock when it was actually 4 o'clock. But if she was in Paris, the clock would
Pacific
have been...
time,
But Paris is ahead of California.
Right, but if you do the calculation...
So when it's 1 o'clock...
Backwards.
But no, but she brings the clock back with her from Paris. That means the
But
clock
it doesn't say AM or PM.
Oh. So...
Or maybe it does, but again, that doesn't matter.
Alright, let's see what the passport says.
Well, it's the only evidence we have that would make sense, right?
So
a time difference.
The time differential. The time differential is going to be... The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast.
See? So sometimes there's going to be evidence like that where you're not going to know, but you have to just go with your gut. That's what I did with this one. And indeed, is that. So keep that in mind.
The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It, or should I say, Mr. Did It?
Oh, he's frothing at the mouth. He's just down for the count.
Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness?
Here. He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm
Oh,
impressed.
that's to the judge. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butz,
We don't ever see consent in a courtroom.
I know, right? And with that, this court is adjourned.
It turns out that Frank Sawt was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawt let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawt grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find.
And did her in.
Yeah.
Just the post-trial wrap-up for this case.
Ooh, I still can't believe we won.
Right, good job in there. Congratulations.
Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you.
Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note.
I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life.
My life is over.
Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now?
Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon.
Good. Wait, no, I mean bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed.
But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. She's gone forever.
Larry, she was, never mind.
Congratulations, Harry.
She doesn't even know his name. Harry?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butz
Innocent.
Thanks.
I really owe you one.
I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't.
Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook.
Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present for me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was playing me for a fool. Don't that make you want to just cry? Sob.
Larry,
Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him?
Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about?
Well, think about this. These ones are always harder because they're not based in logic, but instead just conjecture. So these ones that they do are much harder to figure out. But I'll tell you the answer to this one. She kept that clock despite having dumped him.
So she obviously thought something of him.
Or maybe she was just lazy and didn't give it much thought.
Either way, we're trying to cheer him up.
Okay. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh?
Huh? What about that clock?
This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled.
Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all.
You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling.
True.
Well, make of it what you will.
Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks.
Hope that made him feel a little better.
Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things can change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off?
Yeah, I guess so.
Say, how about dinner? On me? We'll drink a toast to innocent Butz.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him.
Yeah, part, at least.
You have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks?
And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us unless you count the clock he gave Mia."
You can kind of tell that Larry's a little bit of a loser.
I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep.
So that's the first case.
Okay.
Again, much shorter than the other cases. The other cases are at least twice as long. Just so you know.
Okay.
Brand new episode has been added. Saving. Save progress up to this point? Yes.
So episode is the second case? Episode 2 is the second case?
Yes.
Okay.
Each episode is a case.
Okay.
Oh, wait. We don't want to see this yet. We'll see that in the next episode, guys. In the meantime, this is BoomTheBombOmb.
Abe Wise.
And we will see you in the next episode for the next case. Bye!